Well, g'day everyone. We're actually heading to Bega to grab some water for Caravan. We've been out on the hip camp now for a few days and water supply in our tanks are getting down. We've got two 95 litre tanks in max, and we like to have our showers and toilet flushing and washing up and all that sort of stuff, so we eventually go through it. So because this road trip is designed to go to hip camps, which is all, you have to be self-contained, there's no water or power, I've come up with a cunning plan of how I'm going to get water. I've went out and bought a few new products which I'll show you. It's should be a bit of fun. I'll show you what I've done to make life a lot easier. I used to carry jerry cans of water, you know, go and fill up, bring back jerry cans, and then lift 20 litres of water up and fill max, and the backs doesn't like it. So I've come up with this ingenious plan. Probably some of yous out there are already doing this, but I'll show you some products that really excite me, so stay tuned. Okay. We are now here at the Bega water filling station. It's located just up the road from the Bega Cheese Heritage Centre. We found this one at Bega using Wikicamps. You can use filters on Wikicamps to find all your different water fill stations throughout Australia. This one, you can dispense up to 200 litres of water. Basically you push the button and it takes about 10 seconds of holding the button in before it starts. If you don't want 200 litres of water, push the button again and it stops. Okay, so what I've come up with is I've bought a 200 litre water bladder, a heavy duty water bladder from FME store off the web. They actually have a number of different size bladders. They have 100 litre, 120, 150, or square rectangular ones. They even have ones that fit in behind your front seats in your car that goes over the archway if you're in your back seat. So pick the one that you sort of suits your needs. Max has two 95 litre water tanks, which is equal to say 190 litres, so we got the 200 litre one. So I might just get it out. As you can see, the 200 litre bladder fits nicely in the back of the Ram here. Probably the size of it would probably fit most utes anyway. Now, they do recommend to have something soft underneath, and actually they recommended to put some marine carpet down, which I carry anyway in the back of the Ram, just stop stuff scratching the surface. So that way you can fill it up and it doesn't slide around. Now it's got two hose connections. One is the filling and one is to empty it. So I've also brought along my 10 metre Caravan water hose to fill it, and I usually have a lot of different connections on it depending on where you are and what hose connection you're fitting to. You got all these adapters. I've also made up from another part of my hose these few pipes. Now there's this clear pipe that comes with the bag, comes with some hose fittings, hose clamps, and an on-off valve. Now the ones that came with it had the screw connection, screwdriver connection. I went down the Bunnings and changed it for the thumb screw type, so you can use it without having it have any tools. So I'll just connect that up, and you need to put this on before you start, because you put the water in, the water's going to run out. So it's good with the little thumb screws, don't have to worry about the screwdriver. Just whack that on there, tighten her up. And then you've got your valve to stop the water. And I've got this extra bit, which will then, I'll show you how that works later, but for now, basically, that's your valve. What I've also done from Bunnings, and there's probably people out there that know about filters more than I do, so let me know, but I've bought this Caravan water filter. It's basically sticking in line with your supply, just in case the water that you're tapping into needs filtering, I suppose, if you're out west and you've got bore water or whatever. But here we've got nice clean water, so I probably don't need it, but I'll stick it on for the exercise. Now at this water fill station, it doesn't come with the adapter. I've used other ones where they do, but it's handy to have the adapters when you travel, and it does come apart, but I've got it tight, and you have the reducer as well, just in case you meet different types of fittings. So just whack that on there, connect that there. You can see the flow, so we'll go in there, and then put that on there. See in there, make sure your valves shut, and switch her on. Okay, while we're waiting for the bag to fill, 200 litres of water, we might just have a look at all the fittings that we need. So to start off with, you got your normal screw-on connector. Make sure you take a reducer with it, just in case you go to areas where there's different sizes. Snap connector, bit of hose, another snap connector here, the universal Caravan water filter, which I obtained from Bunnings. I've got my 10 metre Caravan hose I normally carry, and that just goes in the bag. Now the other side, I just grabbed some extra bits. So like I said earlier, this clear hose came with it. I changed the screws, and I've chopped up one of my other hoses just to fit that in. So later I'll show you what goes on that and how that works, but for now the bag is slowly filling, and we'll have a nice 200 litres of water, and all this is done without lifting any weight. So yeah, nice and easy. Okay, the bag is full. Look at that. 200 litres. Comes with a cap. It also comes with these tie-down straps if you want to secure it somewhere. And if you note the quality of it, it's very heavy duty. That's all double welded, and look at the seam here. So she's pretty good quality. So that's from FME store. I found them on the web. Along with it, they gave you a bit of sealant tape as well as a patch kit. So anyway, we'll head back to camp, and I'll show you part B of how we get the water out and then into the caravan. So pretty exciting. This is easy. This is great. Alrighty, we've just arrived back at the campsite. We've transported our 200 litres of water, nice and safe, and we want to move the water from the bag into the caravan. So how do we do that? We use a pump. Now when I purchased the bladder from FME, they sell pumps, however they're out of stock. So I jumped on the web and had a look, and I came up with an alternative pump, which I'll show you shortly. Now also, I've purchased this 7-metre solar panel extension cable from Supercheap. Has the Anderson plugs on the end, so that's pretty handy as well. And we've got our cable that we connected earlier. So, pump. Search the web, came across KickAss pump in the box. Now, if you've seen the YouTube video from KickAss about pump in the box, Craig there, mate, he explains it really well, and it's worth watching. It's a great product. So, here we are. Get it around the right way. KickAss pump in the box. Basically what it is, it has a couple of connections for your input and output of water. You have your power connection, Anderson connection, and a little switch. Also got a fuse. So, instead of trying to get a 12-volt pump and stuffing around with cables and everything, here we are, pump in the box. So, here it is. Look at that. So basically the water comes in, through the filter, through the pump, out to the Caravan. Electrical connection with a switch and a fuse. So, pretty exciting. So all you need to do is grab this connection that we had from the bag into the input, where the filter is, and then grab the connection to the Caravan, plug in there. Grab your lead from Supercheap. Plug in there, and down under the car, the most tow vehicles have the 12-volt Anderson plug on the back for charging of their fridges and things in the Caravan, so we use that. And that's it. So what we need to do, we'll start the car, because we shouldn't run a pump just off the car battery, and also too, with that Anderson connection on the back of the car, there should be a isolation circuit breaker there, so when the car's turned off, it isolates the power. So we'll just need to turn the car on, turn the pump on, and here we go. Okay, we need to open the valve, let the water out of the bag, primes the pump, switch the pump on, and the water should be coming out of here. Now, with the size of the pump and 200 litres, it takes roughly about 15 minutes to empty, so not too bad. No lifting, no back pain, just drive your car to a location, get the pump going, stick in the Caravan, 15 minutes later, 200 litres of water. How good is that? Just a little tip also is take off the filler cap and let the bag sort of breathe while it's emptying out through the pump. There we have it, one full tank. So basically all we need to do is turn off the pump. So there you have it. That's one option of how to fill your water tanks while off grid. Basically a 200 litre bladder from FME, a couple of fittings from Bunnings, KickAss's pump in the box, the 7-metre solar panel extension cable from Supercheap, your Caravan hose, and your Caravan. 2 full tanks of water. And hot water service is now on. Heating her up for tonight's nice warm shower while you're out in the middle of nowhere. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully this video has given you some ideas of how to fill your tank's wildlife grid. Yeah, enjoy the great outdoors. Until next time, see ya.